And good Tuesday morning, third time, hopefully the charm. Sometimes they say the third time always works better. But welcome to episode 80 of the Inside Drive podcast. We are sitting inside the Beach House Sales and Development Studios. And again, today we are joined by special guests Scott Pullen and Alan Watson. Scott is one of the owners of the Back Nine Panama City Beach, and then Alan is the owner-operator of Golf Plus right here in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza here in Panama City Beach. Before we get started with today's episode, let's talk about some of our sponsors, starting with our studio sponsor, Beach House Sales and Development.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest along Florida's Emerald Coast? This is Beth Mulvey, owner at Beach House Sales and Development. Our boutique brokerage specializes in waterfront homes, luxury properties, condos, investment opportunities, and new developments throughout Panama City Beach, 30A, Bay County, and Walton County. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a seasoned investor, or ready to sell your current property, Beach House provides concierge-level service every step of the way. Visit beachhousesalesfl.com for more information or give us a call at 850-919-3500 and let Beach House help you find your place on the coast.
And then, of course, let's give a quick shout-out to the official juice of the Inside Drive podcast. That is Juice and Sunsets.
Looking for a healthier way to feel starting your morning, recovering from a workout, or just looking for a refreshing boost? They've got something for everyone. Juice and Sunset specializes in fresh, healthy juices and wellness shots made to help you feel your best.
That's right, their popular immunity shots are packed with ingredients like ginger to help support your immune system. And their fresh juices are a great alternative to sugary drinks. Plus, they're committed to providing delicious options that make healthy living easy.
And if you're out around 30A, you can even find them at the 30A Farmers Market in Rosemary Beach on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
So whether you're looking for a daily wellness boost, a refreshing drink, or a healthier lifestyle choice, make Juice and Sunsets part of your routine. Juice and Sunsets. Healthy never tasted so good. Another business right there in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza. Our previous and future athletes of the week are brought to you by American Charlie Grill and Tavern.
Before it was the beach, Panama City Beach was another small town. And that's the spirit at American Charlie, your neighborhood tavern at the beach. Familiar faces, smiles and hellos from the employees, a menu that steps it up, and daily specials. Locals who gather at happy hour or to watch the game with family and friends and leave with a see you soon. American Charlie, a neighborhood tavern with plenty of parking, located by Rocket Lanes and Firefly, in the shops at Edgewater.
And then we've got him in studio with us today. If you're looking for a place to get fit for new golf clubs, there's only one place to go, also in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza. That is Golf Plus Panama City Beach.
Are your golf scores going up, not down? Struggling to find the sweet spot and wondering why the putts won't drop? Golf Plus has the experience you need to get your game back on track. Over 40 years of experience to be exact. And we have all the brands you're looking for, like Callaway, TaylorMade, Ping, Titleist, Mizuno, and more.
Our repair shop turns out high-quality work in record time, and our store is stocked with all the products you need for your game.
Our custom fitting process has been recognized in Golf Digest and Golf Magazine, and our technology is second to none. So if you're tired of blowing up the bunker, looking for lost balls in the woods, or dragging around your garage sale find golf bag, then Golf Plus in the shops at Edgewater is your new golf store.
And then I just want to mention for everybody who hasn't seen it yet, we are doing an Inside Drive Podcast Fantasy Football League. If anybody's interested in signing up for that, it's $20 a person, and you can just reach out to me, and once you pay, I'll send you the link to join. We'll have winner take all for first place, but I'm also working on some donations for second and third place. So if you want to play in another league of fantasy football, because I'm sure you guys play in a lot, you have another opportunity right here with the Inside Drive podcast. All right, we're going to start with our interviews here. The first is kind of on a local golf spotlight here in Panama City Beach, and we'll start with Scott Pullen. Again, he's one of the owners of the Back Nine PCB. All right, Scott, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
And then for those who haven't visited yet, tell everybody about the Back Nine what the Back Nine PCB is all about.
Yeah, so we have 24/7. Remember, you can have 24/7 access. We have public tee times, free demos as well, memberships that you have unlimited tee times. It's a lot of fun. We have leagues going on, tournaments going on, so come on out. People playing of all different ages and ranges of skill level, from literally brand new to people that have been playing 30, 40 years. It's a lot of fun out there.
It's been a little while since we've had you on. How is the business going?
It's going great. It really is. We've been very busy, thankfully, because a mix of the weather, but also the word's slowly getting out. So
Absolutely.
it's nice to see. Honestly, it's great to be able to provide more golf to the area.
No doubt.
We're somewhat starved for it, and we kind of say it all the time, but between the few courses we have, otherwise you're traveling 45 plus minutes out of the area to play. And at least with this, we're not trying to take it completely replace golf, because that's not going to happen for outside, but it's at the same time, it's an alternative.
Absolutely.
People who might not be able to get out as much and enjoy an hour round as opposed to a 3 or 4 hour round. So.
And as we've talked about when we had you on before, like, you're not in front of a bunch of other people and all that stuff. You can be in a contained area inside that third bay and not as much pressure, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to come in and play freely is big. Sometimes even when you're just simply on the range outside, you kind of get that feeling of you might be being watched by someone else that's out there, or especially when you step up to the first tee box and somebody's waiting. I still get the first tee box jitter, so to speak, but
I don't know why we put so much more pressure on one shot.
I know.
When all your swings add up
it's
to the same
so
score.
true. It's so true. But in there, you don't really have to. It's like I said, you feel a lot more free and comfortable.
What has surprised you the most since opening?
I think just the amount of people that it seems like this filled that void for. We did not anticipate it being as big as we are now. We're over 100 members now. So
wow.
It's grown very fast, and it's helped us be able to push the time frame up more to find another location on the other side of the bridge and so on. And it's been a great few months, and I've met so many new people. That was selfishly another big reason why I wanted to do it, because I worked from home for 5 years, and with kids and stuff, we don't really get out as much. And meeting great people like yourselves it's been great. It really has.
Well, and that's certainly one thing that I want to give you a lot of kudos. Every time I go into the Back Nine, you're always so personable, not only with us, but everybody else that walks in there. You make everybody feel like they're coming out to spend some time with their buddies. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
And the rest of your crew there that does such a fantastic job.
Yeah. We try to pride ourselves on that. I personally just want to know other people, and my family, the other owners, they're the same thing. They want you to feel welcome. They want you to feel like it's a family, and it's what we are.
Well, and one thing, when I was working at Bay Point and most of my golf career, I always told my employees or my associates, whatever you want to call them, that it's not what you do for people that come into your business, it's how you make them feel. And you guys do a great job of making people feel like they're part of your family, like you just said there.
Thank you.
Have you noticed people using it differently than you originally expected?
A few times, yeah. So we knew from the get-go that we'd probably have a decent amount of people coming in and playing rounds, because you save time. You can get a full round in if it's by yourself in under an hour, no problem.
Yep.
But we've seen, we probably have a quarter of our members that just hit the range. They want to know their numbers. They dial them in, and then they take that outside to the range and test the differences and stuff. And it's cool to see people just using that technology to really help them get better. And these launch monitors, not only full swing, but just nowadays in general, from TrackMan to Foresight to all these different ones, they're so accurate that you can use them, and it's a game changer.
Well, and to be honest, too, there's
that.
not really an opportunity to go pick up a TrackMan and go out on the range and get your numbers. And obviously, when we talked to Alan at Golf Plus, he used, I believe, GC Quad. And we'll talk to a little bit more about that here in just a second. Have you been getting a lot of tourists along with locals?
Yes. Yeah. Which another thing we didn't anticipate as much of. We knew, because we're a tourist town, we thought we would get some. Lately, we have gotten a lot more, mainly because of the rain, the weather. People, they had a tee time at Windswept or Bay Point or Legacy or whatever, Signal Hill even. And because of the weather, that drove them in, and they were like, hey, we saw you're open. And so we've, over the past few weeks, our public, so to speak, tee times have gone through the roof because of the amount of people that, A, don't want to go outside, B, come down for a visit and it's just raining and there's nothing else to do, and C, because it's fun. You can come in, you can play games, you can do a bunch of different things. So it is really cool to see.
And speaking on that as well, the local golf community has really embraced the Back Nine from what I can tell. What has that support meant to you and your family?
It's meant a lot. It's meant a lot. We started this whole thing, and when one of our main things was just basically being able to get to know the community, because again, we're not all from here. We've been here for a few years. My wife and myself have been here for 5. My sister and brother-in-law have been here since a month before the storm in 18. So like they're a little more ingrained in the community, but not nearly to the extent that we are now. Like we feel like we're part of it, which was something we really strive for. And I think it's because the word's getting out, people are seeing the place and coming in and experiencing it. It has become a lot easier to go out and say, oh, hey, there's Teddy. Oh, hey, there's Fred, whatever the case may be. And it's really cool because I'm from a small town in Maine originally, and everybody would just, hey, how we doing? You know, it's just easy.
Do you know an actual Teddy, or did you just pull that one out of the old?
Teddy's like, Teddy, I don't know a Teddy. Teddy's like the old.
That's like your go-to
random person that you see. Yeah, Fred. I do know a Fred, and he's a frequent flyer at Back Nine.
There you go.
But yeah.
What has the response been from leagues, couples, families, and corporate groups coming out to the Back Nine?
Oh man, it's been so much fun. I love being able to do leagues and tournaments because it brings that extra little added fun experience that everybody can get involved with. And so we just had our first member scramble tournament, and what, it was about 2 weeks ago now?
I actually participated in that.
Yeah.
Good
and
times.
it was tough. It was tough.
I would say, for a scramble, a 2-person scramble, it was certainly really tough.
Yeah, we played what was a PGA National. The winners were, I think, 2 under, and it was a tough course. But it's stuff like that I like to do because it brings people in and they can actually have fun as opposed to just come and maybe hit or whatever. But they can also experience other members. They can get to talk to other members. They can build that inside community too. Our league, we have one going on right now. It's our Summer Series League. Anybody can participate in. It's a $100 buy-in, but it's 8 weeks, 8 rounds, 8 different courses. Playing some of the, I guess, some not as well-known. We're going to Blue Jack National and Buffalo Ridge, which Buffalo Ridge has become a lot more popular because of Paynes Valley.
Yeah,
La Jolla.
Blue Jack National, that's a Tiger Woods course, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
High-end private club that you would probably never get to play in real life.
No, definitely. Most of these places I'll probably never play.
Blue Jack's even got a wiffle ball stadium, whatever you want to call it. As part of their stuff for the people that live there, for their families and members and all that stuff. It's a pretty wild facility for sure.
It's a fun course just on the sim, so I can't imagine playing it in real life. So
that's probably the people next door.
Oh, I got you. But
they're not supposed to be building while we're live. We had that agreement, but apparently that did not pan out today. Which events have exceeded your expectations?
Probably right now our grand opening, honestly.
That was fantastic.
We had over 100 people out. We anticipated, or we hoped for at least 50. That was our hope. Maybe we'll get about 50 people, get the word out. We had over 100, and I would say probably 35-ish% were members. The rest were people who've never been in. So that was really cool to see. And I think from that, we've probably gotten another 15, 20 members. So that was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
I really thought you guys did a great job putting together that event. You had great prizes, food. It was just like...
Thank you, Alan.
One thing that you've said multiple times during this conversation is the word fun. Yeah. And I feel like that's really what the Back Nine is all about, is fun, having a good time. It's something different than you can normally do. Obviously, you can work on your game, play different courses, but fun seems to be the focus, the theme around the Back Nine PCB. Any memorable shots, hole-in-one tournaments, or any funny moments that have transpired there at the Back Nine?
Yes, several. So we've actually had now 3 hole-in-ones. 2 of them were actually TPC Sawgrass, 17. They were playing a normal round, so it wasn't like a close to the pin situation.
Yep.
And one was Pebble Beach 7. So I remember seeing it on camera, and the members, for the first one, the members reached out to me the next day, and they're like, hey, can you go back on the video and see if you can find this? And it was at like midnight. And so I looked, I found it. Their reaction to the hole-in-one, they hit it, and he's sitting, he's waiting, he's building that up. He's like, oh, and then it goes in, and they freak out. It was so fun to see.
I
want to
saw
get one
that
so
one.
bad.
His buddy kind of seemed more excited than he was. You could kind of see his buddy, you said, the ball. I'm guessing the pin was maybe in the front.
The pin was the front side, so he hit it just beyond and spun back
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was cool. There's been some good times already, and like I said, I think we're coming up on 3 months now, which is
Dang, already
crazy.
3.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
it's gone by fast.
Any tournaments, leagues, or themed nights people should know about?
Yeah. One of the big ones my sister and my wife mainly, we wanted to bring this for ladies' nights.
Yep.
So we have a few different type of options right now, but we have a party ladies, which is essentially intro to golf. For the ladies that want to come in, want to learn, it's what it's there for. We have Birdie Babes. So I did forget that last time I was on here. Almost got in trouble. But Birdie Babes.
I remembered it too if you
Yes,
needed to
yes.
back up on that
Yeah,
one.
thanks. I appreciate
you
it.
got it. I was sitting on go for that for you.
So Birdie Babes is essentially the second step after Party Ladies. Party Ladies is 8 to 9 people typically, and it's just getting into golf.
More intro
understanding,
to golf.
Yeah, understanding how this club works type of thing, where to stand, that type of stuff. Birdie Babes is a little more advanced. It's a little more personable. So it's, I think, 4 people that they're limited to. So everybody gets a chance to actually play and really get a couple holes in and stuff like that and understand what each club is actually doing, distances and stuff. And then we just started the ladies social clinic or social club, which is every Thursday night right now, I believe from 5:30 to 7:30 or 8:30. And we're taking basically walk-ins. You can do reservation. It's $15. Come out, see if you like it. Last week we had, I think, 5 or 6 ladies in there. So
Awesome.
It's, again, just something we know fills that empty area that a lot of ladies are trying to get into. And
like we talked about earlier, you're not out on a course in
Right.
front of all these other people. It's a
Right.
very intimate, private experience. And if somebody wants to sign up for any of those, I know you just mentioned the walk-in for that, but what's the best way to sign up for the events going on there at the Back Nine?
So for that in particular, if you reach out to us, we will send you a link. If you walk in, we'll give you all the information for it. That one in particular, I don't believe is on our website. We do have the leagues and tournaments going right now. Those are on the website. And otherwise, if anybody has any questions, just 850-771-2255. Give me a call.
There you go. You got one of those
Little
771 actions.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Football season is almost here. Are there plans to incorporate college football or NFL Sundays into the Back Nine experience?
I'm going to try to. My goal is to get maybe some of the big games. And the cool thing is about the Sims is you can actually use the projector as a normal projector. So if we want to put on Hulu or whatever on the actual projector, make that one bay a big game, so to speak.
Yep.
Alabama and Florida, whatever the case may be, we can do that. If we want to rent the space out to a corporate event, we can do that, and they can have their slideshow for the first 20 minutes and then play. But I would like to do something NFL or college football related where we bring people in on those days, and maybe it's a free hour or something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, he didn't say the F word. ladies and
Yeah, I
gentlemen.
know. But yeah, that's the cool thing about the space. We can create what we want in there, and it's like you said, make it fun,
Well, like you said, it's just so cool to have the opportunity with those simulators to just mirror whatever you put on those computers. So you could certainly have, one of the bays playing, the Iron Bowl, Ohio State, Michigan, whatever it may be,
Right.
and then everybody else can be, because you got a great lounge area there and too, so you can sit down, enjoy the game, and also do some. It's kind of like how it was for the grand opening event.
Yeah.
You had a couple simulators doing closest to the pin, long drive, and then we were doing those quick fix lessons in the third simulator. So you just have so much flexibility. I love what you said there too about a corporate event. One of the things I was starting to think about is sports team banquets, stuff like that, as the fall starts to approach. But we are right around the corner from football season. So again, just real quick, if you guys want to join a fantasy football league with the Inside Drive podcast, just check out our Facebook page. You can DM me for the information. Once you pay, then I'll give you the link to join the group for sure there. Scott, what are your long-term goals for the Back Nine?
Have it packed full of members.
Well, you're already off to a great start.
I
with
know.
100 of them.
That is good. That is good. Long-term members also get another 1 and 2 locations up. Nice. The good thing about us owning the territory is now not another Back Nine can come in. So we have to just essentially find the space.
Just a curious question. What is your territory? Because I know there's one in Fort Walton Beach?
Yeah, so we basically own all this all the way out to Miramar. So
Okay.
Miramar's the other location.
Miramar,
great
sorry.
people.
Yep.
They're great people.
Yeah, I met him that one day. Super nice. Super nice.
And right now we're looking at the other side of the bridge, trying to go Lynn Haven, kind of 390, 23rd, 77, like somewhere in there.
Yep.
It's just hard to find a good spot.
It's hard to find anything like that around
Yeah.
here for sure, whether
Yeah.
it's vacant land or business. There's not really much places to lease a business. I know with the chamber,
Yeah.
we were trying to find a spot. We're not anymore because it just didn't work out, but it was a good exercise for sure.
Oh, okay.
Are more golfers using the simulator strictly for practice? Or I know you had mentioned you have a bunch that just use it for practice and then a bunch that use it to play as well.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, what features do the serious golfers enjoy the most?
We've seen a bunch of people use for literally everything, all the way from range sessions that are hour and a half, 2 hours, to playing TPC Sawgrass or whatever course they want. We've seen some of our main members that have been in there almost every day since we opened, just kind of going through the playlist of different courses, replaying them, playing from further tees, doing all the different settings, adjustments and stuff, and making them better. The coolest thing, I think, about the Sims in general is just when you get reps in, you see the difference on the course. And almost every single person that's been in there for at least 2 weeks has seen improvement on the course. And they've told me, even their putting, you can putt on the Sims. Granted, it's different. You have to get used to it.
In my opinion, it's more like feel putting.
It is 100%. Yeah, you have to understand your distances, right? If it's a 10-foot putt in real life, you're like, oh, it's maybe about this.
Yep.
But knowing that distance inside is huge. And if you do, it does translate if you're on a relatively good course. Now, some of the local courses, the greens aren't great, so it is a little harder to adjust to those. But everything from, like I said, putting all the way to driving, people have seen improvements on just simply because they're being able to get more reps in and
Just like
understand
any sport,
their
reps are
their
the
shots.
king of everything.
Yeah.
They are certainly the king. All right, before we get to Alan, we're going to do a quick rapid fire here with you, Scott.
Uh-oh. All right.
You're good.
Get the brain working.
Yep. Favorite simulator course?
I'm going to go with a not well-known Kivira. I love Kivira.
That's the one you guys did that hole-in-one challenge on during the grand opening.
It's so pretty.
It
I
is
mean, you do a flyover and it's literally on the cliffs of Cabo, and
Yep.
I think it's a lot of fun.
That's a beautiful area of the world to play some golf. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't know that yet, but I'll hopefully.
Well, if you ever get a chance to go down there,
yeah.
I was supposed to go down there when I was a kid, but I broke my wrist 2 days before the trip
Why'd you do that, man?
because basketball is a dangerous sport,
Basketball
apparently.
can be. Yeah, all right.
Apparently.
I get that.
All right. Toughest simulator course?
Stream Song Black. That is, and it's not necessarily the fairway or even the penalties in the rough. It is the greens. The greens are so hard, so fast, so big
Yep.
and undulating. It is, so far, it is the toughest one. Now, that I'm going to discard the TGL courses. Those, in my opinion, don't count as a real course, but they are hard. Those are also hard ones. But yeah, that one I think is the hardest I've played so far.
I've played red and blue, but never had the opportunity to play black. And
in real life?
And yeah, in real
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
And I
okay.
know red and blue the greens are massive and super tough. Alan, have you played the any of the Stream Song courses?
No, I haven't gotten over that way.
All right, Scott. Dream foursome.
Probably Scotty Scheffler. Actually, no, probably Jack in like 80s. Well,
86 Masters, Jack?
probably that one.
There you go. There you
It's
go.
just because I have a picture of it. And then probably someone new.
And it doesn't have to be a golfer necessarily. It could be anybody.
That's tough. I'd like to play with like you guys know the Bryan Bros.
Yeah, Wes
course.
and
Wes and George, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They both went to the University of South
I
Carolina.
would love to play with George. I think he's fun.
The
And-
original content creators of the golf world.
Yeah, I mean, between them and Good, and goodness gracious, they've done a ton for the YouTube golf industry, honestly.
I may be incorrect, but I think Wes is playing in the Open Championship this week as well. I think he qualified
Yes, he
outside of
did.
that.
He did.
Which will be cool.
Yeah.
There's a golf course in Aiken right next to Palmetto Golf Club, which is one of the oldest courses in the South, called the Aiken Golf Club, which
Okay.
is where Wes shot most of his original trick shot content
Really?
from many years ago, which if you're ever in the Aiken area, the Aiken Golf Club is a hidden gem for sure. An old Donald Ross course, ends with a par 3, which is a double green on another course. One of my favorite golf courses I ever played. Alan, I don't think I have this question for you. What's your dream foursome?
I would mix it up. Probably like Annika Sorenstam, who I consider probably the greatest female golfer of all time. Arnold Palmer, just the consummate golf gentleman. And then probably pull modern and go Tiger, although maybe a few years ago when his knees and back still work.
Yep. Maybe early 2000s Tiger.
Yeah. But, I mean, you could pull so many dream foursomes together. Like you said, not even known golfers, just maybe there's a celebrity or a political figure or somebody that you might want to play with, right? I mean, so.
That's so hard,
Yeah.
No doubt. You could go so many different directions with that.
100%.
All right, Scott, back to you. Favorite golf movie? And there's not a ton of golf
There
movies,
really is.
but
I mean,
your favorite
Caddyshack
one.
is a classic.
Of course,
I
you
love
can never
Caddyshack.
go wrong with Caddyshack.
The little secret, my wife still hasn't seen it. I got to get her to see it. But
That's unacceptable.
I know.
Unacceptable.
Next time I see her, I'm going to
You should.
force her to
Tell
watch
her.
it. I'll put it on
I tell her all the time, like, you
one
gotta
of the
see it. She's like,
TVs.
I'm like, come on.
It's-
That's probably
you
my
don't
favorite.
understand golf movies if you've never seen Caddyshack.
Yeah.
That is a
Happy Gilmore also was probably my favorite, the original, not the second one. The original was a great, it kind of brought the whole live golf era in a way. Like it was way before live golf, but at the same time,
but
like
similar type of not stuffy fun.
Right,
you had
right. Just
Shooter
kind of
and you had Happy that were
entertaining.
just two completely different walks of the world. Alan, what about you? Favorite golf movie?
I think Tin Cup. I mean, the scene where he keeps breaking clubs.
Yep, very relatable for everybody.
Yeah,
Goes
and
to his
then
When he's on the U.S. Open range hitting shanks down the
Shanks, and
range.
he's like, "Who did that? Where did that go?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Hansy driving range pro, which is kind of a with Rene Russo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Kind of a
kind
stereotypical-
stereotype. Exactly. I mean, it's kind of awful, but it happens.
Yep.
You hope it doesn't happen, but it does probably. And it's like, so yeah, there's a lot in Tin Cup that just mirrors real life.
so good. Tin
no
Cup
doubt.
is a great
Yep.
one.
Yeah. Has she seen Tin Cup?
Probably not. She might like that better because it does have the romance.
Yeah, it's
you
more
know?
of a better story.
Yeah,
But Caddyshack's
yeah.
a fantastic story as
Caddyshack's
well. And then
so
it's got
funny.
romance as well.
Yeah.
It's
That
just,
one-
sometimes if your kids are watching it, you
Yeah,
gotta,
don't watch it with your kids.
No.
yeah, it can be a
No.
little inappropriate.
No.
All right, last question for you before we get to Alan. Favorite golf memory?
Oh man. Shoot, that's tough. I'm relatively new to golf.
Doesn't look
so
like
to
it with
speak.
your swing.
I've gotten a lot better. I really have. But I didn't grow up playing golf.
Wes Bryan is not playing in the
he's
Open
not?
Championship. I thought I saw that
I thought
somewhere. It was
maybe
probably
he just
fake
missed
news.
the qualifier then.
Yeah.
Did he, it was this past weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay.
Or maybe he was. I think I saw a video of him hitting. It was probably just in that qualifier,
okay,
if I were
okay.
or playing a practice round. Who knows?
That's unfortunate.
I was buying you time there for
I
your
know.
golf memory.
You didn't. I transitioned right to that. I'm like, oh, wait,
Squirrel.
what? Yeah, I know. Honestly, yeah, I would say when I first got into like even remotely golf was when I was a kid and I remember going with my grandfather to the range.
Yep.
I didn't know how to hit anything, but I just loved hitting the driver and hard. And I was okay at it at the time, but I remember him being really into golf, and that was something I wish we had more time to do.
Right.
He's passed away, but that was something now I can look back on and be like, man, that would have been awesome to have more time to do, or if I got into it a little earlier. But yeah, that was probably my like intro, but I remember that for whatever reason being my first start into golf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beth's got a bucket of old range balls over there with the red stripes on them. And
Yeah.
earlier today, I was like, that red stripe, I can see that red stripe on some of the first driving ranges I ever hit on. And just remembering my dad being there, trying to kind of help me get going a little bit. But I always say when you're teaching kids that are 4, 5, 6 years old, just put a golf ball in front of them, make sure they're holding the club right, and just let them go at it. Because it's
Yeah.
about making that contact first before the brain can understand the complexities of the golf swing. What about you, Alan? What's your favorite golf memory? I know you've played some pretty epic golf courses all around the world.
I have, and I've got to play all over the country with my dad and some other folks, and there's some great memories there. But I think my best golf memory was not when I was playing, but my wife and I being at the Masters in 19 when Tiger won on Sunday. So that was just one of those, like, I mean, unless barring some miracle, that will be his last major win.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it was the Masters.
Yeah.
And it's Tiger,
And it's
so
Tiger.
widely considered one or two of the greatest golfers of all time, depending on how you stack it up.
Yeah.
So to be there on Sunday when that happened, I don't think any of my personal golf exploits aren't that impressive. So until I shoot 6 under at Sawgrass from the pro tees, I'm going to stick with Tiger for now.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Good
That
stuff.
one wins. That one wins. Yeah.
Alan, sticking with you, obviously you're the owner-operator of Golf Plus. Tell everyone about Golf Plus and everything that you have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a golf fitting boutique / full service club repair shop / place to get your golf gear. Now, the only gear we don't cover in that is clothing, but bags, balls, tees, all just the gear you have to play. But primarily what we do is custom fit all of the OEM brands, which would be the original equipment manufacturers. So the big names like Titleist, Callaway, Ping, TaylorMade, all of those. We've also just added, we'll have it next week, we've just added Forward Golf, which is making waves in the world of golf in terms of fitting. So that's going to be coming in next week. And we just love to get people into the right equipment. That's our primary function, is getting people. If you're going to spend money on equipment, then why not make it the right equipment?
That's
it would be
right.
like going and buying
1000%.
clothes and buying them 2 sizes too big or too small. You bought clothes, good for you, but now they're not right. So we don't want to do that. So that's our primary function. And then, like I said, fixing clubs, building clubs, and then helping you out with your gear. That's the rest of what we do.
And kind of what makes Golf Plus different from a traditional golf shop?
A lot. One is that I've been in the golf business so long now that I have tried everything I can to forget everything I've ever learned about traditional golf shops. And when we go in those shops, when my wife and I'll be on vacation and we see those old school golf shops, not to make fun of them at all, but we laugh and it's like, we remember when we used to be that.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, there was a moment 15 years ago where we said, this isn't the future of golf. The future of golf is people getting private time with an expert who has the equipment, has the expertise, and can help them to spend their money more wisely rather than just spending their money. And so we converted the store a long time ago, and we really pride ourselves on being golf experts, not for the sake of lording that information over you or pretending like we're better than you, but just so that we can help you. In the same way that when my car breaks down, I don't want just some guy who likes cars to fix it. I want a guy who's an expert mechanic to fix it so that it gets done right. So that's kind of the way we look at what we do. And what's different, in a nutshell from us and those old school stores is we're not sticking to the way it has to be done or the way it used to be done. We're looking at it from a very modern, technology-driven perspective. And also kind of to mirror what you said earlier, we just want to be nice people first, and then we want to fix your problem second. So we hope that what we bring to the world of golf is a great attitude and a great personality and a place that you want to be, that's fun to hang out, and that we treat you fairly and all those things. And then, we're going to solve your problem too, of course.
Absolutely. Solving the problem is certainly crucial. Speaking of those old school, I can remember as a kid, you walked into those old school golf shops with the wood paneling all over the walls and the clubs. There was 30 sets of clubs on the wall, and my dad would always complain, where are the left-handed sets? Because he was left-handed. And should he had been right-handed, he could have had a lot of hand-me-downs from me, ironically. But there's also something, I don't know if this happens for everybody, but I remember as a kid, especially walking into a golf shop, just getting that euphoric feeling of, look at all this really cool stuff. I would love to have a lot of it. Talking about club fitting specifically, why shouldn't golfers simply buy clubs off the rack?
They shouldn't simply buy clubs off the rack, because simply buying clubs off the rack means getting what somebody determined to be a one-size-fits-all standard type golf club. And we know from testing, and we know from the tour, and we know from all the fittings that I've done over the years and that my people have done, that that's like a 1 in 1,000 proposition that you would get it right. It's really that far. It might even be worse than that odds.
Simply because it's so specific to each person.
Exactly. And so there's so many feel components. There are so many measurement components. There are so many things that happen in the golf swing. And I've always told people for years, and I firmly believe this, you can line 10 guys up that are the same height or the same build or the same handicap or the same number of years in the game of golf or whatever measurement metric you want to use, same age. you're still going to see 10 different golf swings. And so therefore, just off that one little sample size, there's no way that something on a rack is going to magically fit you. We have to guess at what we think we're going to need, and then we still end up having to rip most of it apart and rebuild it for our clients, or we have to order it from the factory built to spec, because it is extremely rare when we can just send something out of the store and be like, yep, that somehow was a fit. That is so 1 in a million.
Yep, no doubt. Better chance of winning the Powerball, I am sure.
I wish I could.
What mistakes do you see golfers making with equipment?
I see the biggest mistake I see is people buying only because of their budget, only because of a certain brand name, only because their buddy has something. I can't tell you the number of times that somebody's come in my store and said, last Saturday I was playing with Scott, and Scott had this new 3-wood, and I took one swing with it, and I hit the best shot of my life, so I want that exact same 3-wood. And I'm like, so we're literally going to make a purchase based on one swing, and I'm glad you hit it well. But what if you'd have hit it 10 times? What if you did it 6 times? What if you'd have just hit it 3 times?
Yep.
Would you have been able to reproduce that shot over and over again, right? So I don't want to see people making purchases because of what's in their buddy's bag, or because of a brand that they just feel loyal to for whatever reason, or because of a budget constraint, which I understand budget constraints exist, but much like buying a car, if I have a budget, I still have lots of options for brands, models, new, used, whatever. So with the golf industry, if you have a budget and if you have a few ideas, bring those to us. We'll use that as a starting place, but then let's properly fit you and let's do this right, versus this sort of willy-nilly, I think I like ping, or I think I like what my buddy had. That's crazy.
I'm sure you've heard that a million times.
A million times.
I can't remember how many times growing up, like my friends or other people going out and play golf, when you get a new club, let me take a swing with that, and they'd hit it good. And the fact that you said that just is crazy, because that would happen so much. One swing with a different club, and this is what I need. That is certainly not the case. And kind of speaking on that, how much difference can properly fit clubs actually make?
So the biggest difference between properly fit clubs and off-the-rack clubs is that a properly fitted club will make your bad shots better, and it'll make your good shots be what they were supposed to be. Meaning that now I can make my natural swing without me trying to adjust to the clubs, which we do. If you play bad clubs for years and years, you will adapt to those bad clubs. Otherwise, you'll never be able to hit a good shot. So you'll have to do all sorts of funky changes to your swing and all that. So we don't want to see that. So by having properly fit clubs, now I can readapt myself to what my body naturally wants to do and what the swing should look like. And now we're going to get more good shots. And like I said, those bad shots are actually going to be exponentially better. It doesn't mean you're never going to hit a bad shot. It just means that you're going to get more out of it percentage-wise, distance, consistency, all of those things. And again, your good shots are going to be exactly what you drew them up to be, because now the club is working with you, not against you.
Yep, absolutely. And that's just something people work on their golf swing as well. But I feel like you have to have properly fitted clubs first, and then you can work on your golf swing, because you have to have what works for your body type. Like you said, how high your wrists are to the ground, your flexibility, all that good stuff. So in my opinion, get fitted first, then go get some golf lessons.
Yep.
Because you want to maximize your ability out there, and then go play some indoor golf at the Back Nine.
Where it's nice and cool and air conditioned.
I
love that aspect of what Scott has to offer. That's the number one thing, is air conditioning.
Not many places around the world where you can play golf at 72 degrees every time you go out there and play.
Right.
70. That's even better. Yeah, you start to, yeah, you don't want to get too hot, no doubt about it. Alan, explain how launch monitors fit golfers.
The launch monitor doesn't per se fit, and I know what you meant, but it is the diagnostic tool that allows us to see what's happening. Is the head drooping in the swing? Are you hitting it in the heel? Are you inconsistent and all over the face, and what's causing that? What's your rotation look like? Some people deliver the club a lot faster at the bottom than others. There's so many things that are happening in the golf swing, and without high-speed cameras and without the digital stuff that we can get from our 4-camera system on our quad, that is the stuff that then allows us to see what the naked eye can't see.
Yep.
And we can then translate all of that data. For so many years, all we could get was club head speed. We had a little radar that would sit back behind you, and we get club head speed, and then we would basically fit you off of your height and your wrist to floor measurement and how fast you swung. And that was pretty much it.
That was it.
And now that we can see ball flight, we're not having to use the mats and scrubbing on the toe and the heel for lie angle anymore. Now we're just working off ball flight. We're not having to really even measure wrist to floor anymore if we don't want to, because honestly, if somebody like Scott comes in, for instance, and has a very normal height gentleman, not extraordinarily tall, certainly not short, then most of the clubs are going to be lengthwise pretty much right, but then we might have to change the lie angle or something like that. But it starts with the shaft. It starts with the head design, the loft of the golf club. So many people get lost on, I need a game improvement club because I'm bad, or I need a better players club because that's where I'm headed because I'm working on my game. The loft of the golf club and how it launches the ball is so much more important than the forgiveness factor of the club, believe it or not. And the launch monitor allows us to see that. So then if I see, okay, Ryan, you need to be in a 28-degree lofted club, we can go find all the clubs in the world that are at that. We get the one that has the right bounce, the right loft, the right lie angle. Now, all of a sudden, when you make your proper swing, the ball actually hits the correct part of the face. It launches properly. It spins properly. And you didn't have, you know what I mean? You didn't buy the club just because you're a 2 handicap or a 20 handicap. You bought it because it actually fits your swing, not your skill level. So
A novel idea, that is for sure. What numbers should average golfers actually pay attention to? And I know you guys are there to help guide them through that.
Sure.
But just a
Sure.
question for you there.
no, a good number if you are on a launch monitor that gives you the numbers. And I'm like Scott, I don't know exactly what all numbers you get on yours, but I imagine you get a lot of different numbers on a full swing simulator because that's good technology. So there's probably a lot of numbers there. One of the numbers you want to look at with your irons in particular is your descent angle and your peak height. Now, not everybody's going to hit it as high as the next person, so you can't always go off height. But if your descent angle with your 7-iron, for instance, is below 45 or above 55, you're probably going to have some distance loss or you're going to have a hard time holding greens. So we like to see that 45 to 50 range for descent angle, really for all irons, but especially if we can get it on the 7, we can pretty much get it on the rest of them until you get into 4-iron and all that. That's a whole nother world. But so that's one number we look at is descent angle. Spin rate's another number we look at. Spin rates determine whether the ball is going to stay in the air or whether it's going to fall out of the air. So if the number's too low, then you're just going to hit line drives. If the number's too high, the ball is going to balloon or rainbow up into the sky. So we look at those numbers. The kicker there with numbers is that they all move slightly, especially spin rates and launches. They all move slightly based on how hard you hit the ball. So a guy like John Rahm, who's just pummeling the golf ball, is going to be able to hit the ball with more speed and more spin than somebody like myself. So therefore, we can't obviously use the exact same numbers to work off of. It has to be gradiated depending on speed. So we look at that and say, okay, this person's swinging 75 miles an hour, so here's their slightly skewed version of those stock numbers. And then this guy's swinging 95 miles an hour, so boom, his numbers have to be a little different. And so you have to know where the starting numbers are, but then you have to know how to adjust from there. And that's where fitting comes in, because the average person just isn't going to even, I don't care if you go to ChatGPT, you're still not going to get the right answer until you go actually hit that golf club and see what those numbers look like.
Yep, no doubt. Certainly a lot of variables that all add up to what you're looking for, no doubt about it. Scott, did you take all that information in?
Yep.
There'll be a test later, so
It's right there.
now
I'm
you can
gonna-
use all those different
I'm-
numbers.
I may
Full
need to
Swing gives
go
you
back
so
to the
many
recording.
fantastic
Yeah,
numbers.
I've seen it, but I didn't look at every, I didn't take a mental note of everything. But
Yeah.
I do think that's really great. If I could just say that really quickly, like I really think it's great for golfers, whether they're beginners or whether they're seasoned players, that they can go into a facility like his and get some of these numbers that maybe they've never even seen before, go out and play some rounds outside, come back to his facility, do it again, and make some notes of, are my numbers changing? Is that launch angle getting better? Maybe I need to go see a fitter because I can't hold a green to save my life. Or I'm stronger than all my friends, but I don't hit the driver as far as them. Probably got a spin issue, right? So
right. That's what I
by
get
being
all
able
the
to
time in
see
there.
those numbers that he can give you, that his machines can give you, maybe you can't fit yourself, but you can start to develop some understanding of what's happening, and then that tells you, oh, it's time to go do something different maybe.
Yeah, kind of. If I do this, is what happens. If I do this, that's what happens. And
Absolutely.
you work it down into
Absolutely.
getting your game just a little tiny bit better. Or what has the support from Panama City Beach, and I know the surrounding areas as well, in the golf community has been like for you guys at the shop?
It's been phenomenal. We closed our Dothan location last year, which was heartbreaking to me, but I just got a text right as we were starting our podcast from a friend of mine in Dothan who was like, hey, when can I come down and get fit? So we're still getting support from the Dothan market. We're getting support from Georgia, all the way over into Tallahassee, all the way over to Mobile and Pensacola, but primarily most of our business is Bay County, Walton County, and so we are loving the support of it. We're loving, like Scott said, kind of getting to meet those people, and golf is a community thing, and it's a game. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
If I go to work every day and I say, I'm going to sell something, well, that's fine. I have to do that to keep the lights on. But what I'd rather do is build a community of golfers, and then that will sustain my business a lot longer than just making one sale.
Yep.
And so I'm really excited about the fact that we've been open for just under 6 years now, and we just continue to grow. And that speaks to the community more than it even speaks to us, because Bay County's obviously growing. You see all the cones and all the construction. And even though we don't have as many golf courses as we used to, now that we have facilities like Scott's, there's still more golf that can be played. And so I just feel like that really the sky's the limit on what Bay County has to offer and Walton County has to offer between the tourists, between the locals. Our business is about 50-50 on tourists and locals. And so we honestly couldn't do it without either half.
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. And I think we'll become more of a destination golf market once that Kaiser property gets built up there in Washington County. That still blows my mind that we have a Kaiser facility coming to our area.
Yeah.
Because you think of abandoned dunes, you think of Whistling Straits up there, and it's just like, what part did the panhandle of Florida appeal to them? And I guess it's probably the terrain and the opportunity to move a lot of sand around to make the golf courses exactly how they want them. So I'm excited for that to come as well, and hopefully that helps both of y'all's businesses as well.
Sure.
Are you seeing more beginners getting into golf?
I don't know, if I'm being honest, I don't know if I'm seeing more beginners now than maybe I did back during the Tiger boom era, because that was crazy. And then also you had the COVID boom where a lot of people were going to their work buddies and saying, hey, now that we don't have to go to work every day and we're working from home, let's go play golf, because it was about the only thing you could go do, because all the bowling alleys were shut down and all these things and that things were shut down. So we've had two booms in the last 30 years in golf. And we're definitely on the backside of that second boom. So right now we're not seeing as many beginners, but I am meeting beginners. I was telling Scott off air before we went on about one of his members that it just is getting back into golf. And so he's a beginner and hadn't played in a long time. And we're seeing some of that. Our facility's not necessarily set up for beginners in terms of it could be a little intimidating for those people, just because if you've never driven a car before and the first time you sit in one, it's a Ferrari, that might be a little crazy. So, but that being said, we're certainly perfectly willing to help beginners and show them the ropes, but it's not as big a thing as it was, let's say, 6 years ago when COVID hit and forced everybody to go outside.
Yep.
Yeah, that COVID boom certainly, and the Tiger boom created a massive supply of golf courses being built all over the country, which made the demand and the supply get out of whack there for a while.
Oh yeah,
and then I feel like a lot of golf courses had closed over the years, and then of course the COVID boom kind of brought the demand up higher, and I think eventually caught that supply. So I feel like we're in a good spot right now in the golf industry with the supply kind of matching the demand.
Absolutely.
And so many golf courses were built not just to have a golf course for demand, but built for people to buy property on those golf courses. So it's certainly been an interesting, 30 years going up and down, et cetera. What trends are you noticing in golf equipment?
One of the trends is actually a non-trend, and that's that a lot of the manufacturers are slowing down. And when I say slowing down, I don't mean slowing down in their attempts to, obviously they want to advance technology and do all that, but we're starting to realize that we cannot advance technology any faster than they can come up with new ideas. And then when they do come up with a new idea, it doesn't always equate to massive differences in distance or performance or whatever. So a lot of the companies are slowing down and pulling back and creating longer windows of how long their products will be on the market, so that when they do come out with something new, it can be a little more earth-shattering. It can be a little bit better versus just every year saying, oh, we're new, we're better, we're new, we're better, we're new, we're better, but we're really not changing anything. And so I think that's the trend. The trend is to slow down, take stock of what you have, make sure that when you introduce something new, so that when I tell my client and when they tell me as their client, if Callaway calls me and says we got something new, then I want it to be great.
Yeah.
And when I tell my client that I've got something new from Callaway in the building, it needs to be great. And so when we're rushing stuff to market too fast, it's really hard to do that. So that's the trend right now. And honestly, the technology that's out there right now is unbelievable. It's unparalleled. So much better than you were mentioning red stripe range balls.
Yeah.
I grew up playing at a country club, hitting balls like that. And I grew up going to municipal courses with my dad and seeing all that. And back then, the golf equipment was junk. It was
Yeah.
absolute junk compared to what we have now. So at this point, it's kind of like we've landed on the moon, and what do you do next, right? So...
Yeah, and with all that being said, if you have a 10-year-old driver, and I'm not trying to tell you to buy a new driver, but if you have a
I am.
10-year-old driver, you are so far behind in technology, let alone a 15 or 20-year driver. You're missing out on, getting not necessarily getting your game better, but getting your game easier, which in turn will make your game just a little bit better. Alan, any promotions or specials going on right now or coming up?
We don't have anything cooking right now. We're not one of those type stores. We're not like Sears in the 1980s where we have a sale every other weekend. So we're basically running whatever promotions are run by the manufacturer.
Gotcha.
So if they're running a 150% trade-in, then we're running it. If they're running a sale on last year's model, then we're running it. But other than that, we really try. It's part of one of my core philosophies, which is fairness. So my 4 core philosophies are fair, expert, fun, and team. And so with the fairness aspect, whatever the price you pay to me should be the same price that Scott pays and the next person, and so on like that. I don't want somebody to go to the golf course and say, look at this driver, Alan's a buddy of mine, he hooked me up. And then you go, well, gosh, I had to pay full retail.
Yep,
So
that's
we
not good
just
for
sell
business.
everything to everybody for the same price, and we don't mess around. And we feel like that's a business philosophy that keeps me, if you need that hookup from somebody, then maybe I'm not the shop for you, but you're going to get the best level service, the best quality equipment, and the right fit from us. And we feel like that's going to be worth paying the correct price for that. And then everybody pays the same price. So it's super fair. That's just one of my business philosophies.
No doubt. I was trying to form that acronym in my head when you were talking about it, but
There is not one. It's just, those are just the 4 things that matter most to me.
I love it. I love it. That's good stuff for sure. I know this time of year there's not a lot of new stuff coming in, but have you gotten anything kind of maybe outside the club world that's been arriving in the golf shop?
We got a huge stack of Wilson Duo golf balls in the other day. A lot of different colors and styles. Those are great for somebody that if you want a lot of golf balls and don't want to spend a ton of money, they're really soft too. Great golf ball. Yeah, you're right. Club-wise, Titleist just announced today the new GT300, which will replace the GT280, which is their mini driver. And mini drivers are kind of a buzz thing. They're very niche. Not everybody needs one, but that just got announced. We're always getting new headwear in for looking stylish on the course or off the course too. And we just got a limited edition run of Nike shoes for the British Open, for the Open Championship that just came out. So
I
we
saw
got
those on your
the
Facebook
shoe.
page this
Yeah.
morning. Those are sweet.
Unbelievable. So you'll see like Brooks Koepka will be wearing those this week and stuff like that. So we get some stuff like that all along. We got the 250th anniversary edition of the Ventus TR shaft from Fujikura. That's part of that money goes to Folds of Honor, which is a military charity. So we've got some stuff like that. We're always getting special stuff in, but you're right. I mean, it's not every week that there's a new equipment drop because obviously that would just be too confusing and too much for us.
No doubt. I mean, like you were talking about just a few minutes ago, there was a point where TaylorMade, Callaway, not necessarily Titus, but TaylorMade and Callaway for sure. Every spring after the PGA show, they were releasing a new club, and it just oversaturated the market. And all that
100%.
stuff.
100%.
Some quick hitters before we get into some Open Championship conversation. Most overrated club in your opinion?
Overrated club? I'm going to get in trouble if I say that, but I would say the biggest thing that's
you're in the trust tree.
exactly. I think what's overrated is when people think that they have to carry a 3-wood when they just don't hit the ball high enough, and they should be better off in a 4-wood or a 5-wood. I've told a million people, this is your 3-wood. And I'll hand them a 4-wood or a 5-wood. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, this is your 3-wood now.
Yeah.
You just got to accept that, right? Because if I'm hitting a 3-wood and it's head high to a June bug,
Does you no
that's
good.
not doing me any good.
Yep.
So we're selling a lot more 4-woods and 5-woods and letting people understand that the gap between your driver and your longest iron needs to be filled by 1 or 2 clubs that you can actually hit,
Yep.
not because we've just been trained to think we're supposed to carry a 1 and a 3
You have
and a
this
5.
very
or-
specific
Yeah.
number of clubs that's supposed
Let's
to be
get
in
a
your
club
bag.
that does what you need it to do, not something just because you think that's a prescription for what should be in your bag. That's silly.
Most overrated golf tip. Keep your head down is what I would say. 'Cause
Yeah, I
it's
mean-
so much more than just keeping your head
Yeah,
down.
I think
Something else is happening to make your head move forward.
I think so too. I think a lot of times people feel like their alignment is the issue when really it's their body, the body parts relative to that alignment. So in other words, if my feet, knees, shoulders, hips, if they're all in line, then I'm in line. But this whole idea that I'm going to aim left to hit it right or whatever, it's like you should learn how to aim at what you're aiming at and then fix that. But that's more your expertise as
Yep.
a golf instructor. We need instructors to help people with that. But people always say to me, oh, well, this guy just told me just to do that. I'm like, oh boy. Anytime we're listening to people that are worse than us at golf, that's probably a problem.
No doubt. And, just because it's on YouTube or in Golf
Oof.
Digest or whatever it is, when I used to teach a lot up in South Carolina, I'd be like, that's all generic stuff. It's kind of like buying, I can
Yeah.
relate it to buying clubs off the rack. If you're looking at YouTube, that's not it taking the information for what you're doing, whether it's getting fitted or getting instruction, and it could absolutely mess up whatever you're trying to do.
For sure.
Favorite manufacturer?
I've gone to the dark side. I'm a TaylorMade guy now. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have never, for all my career, I would have never considered playing TaylorMade clubs.
The
because
dark
they were,
side, huh?
That's what they call it.
That's what I always used to call Callaway.
Yeah,
I've been in the
so-
dark side for a while, though.
Yeah, but
2007.
TaylorMade was so popular on their own, they didn't need my help. So my
There you
reps
go.
would always come to me and say, why won't you play our clubs? And I was like, well, because people are going to buy it anyway. It's like if I played Titleist golf balls and people ask me what golf ball I played, not that I should be influencing their selection anyway, that would just be like what you expect a golf pro to say, oh, I play Titleist golf balls, right? So I've always tried to play other things, nothing against that, but just to mix it up and not be the stereotypical guy. But yeah, I've been playing TaylorMade woods and the TaylorMade putter now for a while, and I'm just blown away by how good the technology is. Tried all the new drivers this year. I tried every manufacturer. Some didn't sound right. Some didn't feel right. Some didn't look right. It becomes a Goldilocks effect. And then when you find the one that you love and then you properly fit it on top of that,
Yep.
well, now I can go out and know that I'm going to hit 11 or 12 out of every 14 fairways every time, and I'm not going to worry about hitting houses or being distracted by something.
That's always a plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence is a dangerous thing when it comes to golf,
Yep.
which is what you need. Favorite course you've ever played?
Oh, my favorite course is Fightin' Joe. It's on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. It's in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and it is a beautiful golf course with bent grass greens, water down the left of a lot of the holes, fescue down the right of a lot of holes. If you don't drive it in play, you're losing a golf ball either in fescue or water. Number 18 is a par 3 on the side of a cliff. I kid you not. It is scary. It's weird. You feel like you're going to fall off the edge of a mountain. And it's just one of those scenic, beautiful things that can only happen in that part of the world. You couldn't build a course like that down here.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And so it's just an amazing golf course. So if you're ever up in the corner of Alabama near Mississippi and Tennessee, that Robert Trent Jones Trail has a lot of great golf courses, but that course is unbelievable.
I believe that Robert Trent Jones or that whole group is state pensions for teachers
That's
and stuff
right.
for Alabama.
That's right.
So the money goes in. A cool setup. I've never seen or heard anybody else do that.
No,
but
it's genius.
I thought it was genius indeed. All right. One club every golfer should practice with more.
I would say, I should say putter, but I'm going to say sand
Putter's
wedge.
the obvious answer. for
Yeah,
sure.
putter's the obvious answer, but I'm going to say sand wedge, and here's why. When you learn to chip around the greens, when you learn to scramble, as they call it on tour, right? When you can turn what should have been a 5 into a 4, and you can make pars, Because let's face it, you're not going to hit every green. I just very rare in golf does somebody hit 18 out of 18 greens. So if I miss some greens, what do I need to do? I need to chip it up really, really close so I don't have to make a putt because putting's so hard. So the rounds, I played with Chase Seifert the other day, right? This was 2 weeks ago. Chase and myself and my 2 guys from my shop, we went out and played. On the front 9, I shot 1 over par with a couple of birdies, and I chipped like a demon all day. Every green that I missed, I chipped it up to 6 inches,
Makes it
a
a lot
foot,
easier.
3 foot, and I shot 1 over. On the back 9, the wedge went away, the driver went away a little bit, and I think I shot 8 over on the back. It was bad. It was like 2 different golf, you know what I mean?
That's what they call a Ray Charles and Raymond Floyd.
Exactly. And I even called it. I told Chase, I said, look, I'm about to go 37-47. You watch this. Didn't turn out to be that bad, but the wedge went away. I lost the feel.
Yep.
And it wasn't the club's fault. It was my fault. Had I practiced more with it, but I had all the confidence and all the technique down on the first 9. And it just
goes
so
away in the blink
I
of an
think
eye.
sand wedge or lob wedge, whatever or
Yep.
gap wedge, whatever you like to chip with, but learning how from, let's say, 40, 50 yards out, and then especially around the collar or bunkers. Obviously, you see people get stuck in bunkers and can't get out. So wedge for me.
And you see everybody go to a driving range at a golf course and whip out their driver and just
It's the
pound
stupidest
drivers.
thing I've ever seen.
You hit maybe 14 drivers a round, and some of those you may not need to hit a driver, so it could be even less than that. And then you're chipping probably at least 18, possibly way more than that, depending on how good you are at chipping. Spend more time on the short green area, on the putting green, wherever it may be. Half of your score is determined from that 100 yards and in. So if you're giving away a lot of strokes in that area, work on that area because it's obviously the most important in the golf side of things. Even though we've heard from Scott from Golf Plus, or not Golf Plus, Back Nine PCB, we still need to hear his ad. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be talking about the Open Championship, which is going on this week.
I am Scott Pullen, one of the owners of the Back Nine Panama City Beach. This is a 24/7 indoor golf simulator business. We have 3 bays, 2 are more open, and then one's kind of more semi-private. So I believe what's special about the Back Nine is not only our software and equipment that we use, which is full swing, but also there's plenty of space for righties, lefties, tall, short, any size person to come and swing and not feel like you're just in a tight space or going to hit a wall or hit the ceiling or anything like that. Also, you actually get a video feedback of your interaction with the club face and the ball. It's extremely important when you're learning how to play, but also trying to dial in your clubs and get better at the game of golf. So we have about 70 different courses that you can play, from Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, St. Andrews, a whole bunch of different courses. But there's also games that you can play, like tic-tac-toe and Connect 4 and skee ball and darts and all these that work on your game, but at the same time, they're still fun for all ages. I think you should visit the Back Nine Panama City Beach because you're going to have a fun time, regardless of if you are an avid golfer or brand new to it. And it's 24/7. So if you're interested in coming to the Back Nine, you can go to our website, back9golf.com, and book a tee time. You can also book a free demo. And we also have memberships available monthly and for the year. Our bays book by the hour, and then also we have club rentals as well if you don't have your own clubs. Come visit us at the Back Nine, Panama City Beach, where golf never sleeps.
Scott's allowed to talk during the commercial because that's his commercial. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the Open Championship. What do you guys think makes the Open Championship so unique compared to the other 3 majors?
For me, For me, it's the weather, so that then the Americans are not used to the weather and the wind and all of that. So it makes it where they have a huge disadvantage. And then it's the style of golf course, obviously, usually being link style. You've got fescue, like we mentioned before, on this other course and things like that. You got all these problems. You got all these sometimes the greens can be so undulating and interesting that they're having to hit different types of shots. So you'll see guys carrying long irons that they don't normally carry, trying to hit these shots that run up and do things they would never do in an American-style golf course. So I think the course and the weather are so unique most of the time that it just doesn't lend itself to what we think of as normal major championship golf here in America.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, why do American golfers struggle overseas sometimes? In your opinion, of course.
Probably because they're just so used to vastly different, like Alan said, the weather, the conditions, the grass, the run out of the ball, everything is just different. And coming from a place where you hit the ball, it stops. And sometimes you can get some backspin.
Yep.
You go to a place where you hit the ball and it just runs out forever. It's a completely different form of golf almost.
No doubt.
You have to get used to it.
And typically that works into the Europeans' advantage. Well, guys, who's your favorite entering this week?
I went on my social media first thing this morning, and I'm picking Tommy Fleetwood. I love the way this is basically his home course. Even though he doesn't do it by now, this is basically his home course from before. And he's going to have all of the tricks and the tools to operate in these conditions. And he's not having the best year of his career, but he's still in the kind of the peak of his career right now. And he's just a calm, cool, collected guy most of the time. So I think he's positioned. I just think he scrambles like crazy. He's a scrambling golf course. So if his putter gets even remotely hot, I think he's the top of the leaderboard.
I love the Tommy pick. Yeah, I love that. I think there's a couple that are like the dark horses type, but like Chris got up for whatever reason. I think he's going to be probably top 3. I think he's playing really well there.
Yep.
He knows how to play those horses. He plays really well. Man, yeah, Tommy's such a good guy. He just almost want to root for him at all times.
No doubt. We'll just do a couple more questions because Scott and I got to get out of here. Would you Goddard as your sleeper pick?
Probably, yeah. As much of a sleeper can be. He's probably ranked like 5th or 6th in line.
He's had a great last few years,
yeah,
for sure. What do you think, Alan? Who's a good sleeper pick for you?
Probably Sahith Theegala. I think he's still waiting for. He's had some good weeks. He's had some wins. I think he's still waiting for his breakout on the huge stage, and this could be that week. And even though he's not an international player in terms of being the better and all that, his game travels pretty well. So he could be my dark horse.
I like it. You might Goddard up. I like that.
Yeah.
What's one big name golfer that you think could disappoint?
I hate to say it, probably Saudi.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in this tournament. It's just not what everybody's seen him play with the past few years. It's not bad.
Yeah, he's
It's
still
just,
special, but what he's done in his career has made us expect him to be near the top of the leaderboard week in and week out. And I think there's a stat somewhere, I think he said at one time, that you have to finish in like the top 20 of the Scottish Open in order to win the Open Championship. That's like the trend. And I know Scott didn't make the cut for the Scottish Open, so maybe I'm sure he's still the favorite, but that is fine. All right, we'll just do one more question for you and Scott. All right, Alan, does equipment matter more at the Open Championship?
I don't know if it matters more, but it changes. Guys sometimes have to put different bounce wedges in their bag because of depending on the grass and things Scott mentioned earlier. That can change what kind of wedges you carry. It can change. You can take a 7 wood out of the bag and put a 3 iron in instead because now flying super high, 6 wood in, it doesn't do it good. So it could change some things from an equipment standpoint. Interestingly enough, Tommy Fleetwood and Chris Goddard that you mentioned both carry a mini driver. So that could be a secret weapon on windy days to drive it low and keep it out, or to hit super long second shots off the fairway. So that's interesting to see. But yeah, equipment, you guys sometimes have to make a few changes for the Open.
No doubt. Scott, what's one thing recreational golfers could learn from watching the Open?
it's okay to hit. You're gonna see so many people. So many PGA pros, top in the world, hit terrible shots.
Yep.
It's all right.
It's not a shot you hit, it's what you do with that next shot.
Exactly. Obviously, they can come back. They scramble like you were talking about, and they're the best at that. That's why they can come back.
Back to what I was talking about, the short game and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because in the Open, you can get stuck in a pot bunker and have literally no access to the green and the red would have to waste a shot going sideways. But a great player will take the medicine to do that.
make
Whereas
it
the average
easier.
golfer could take 3 or 4 shots trying to do some hero shot that can't actually be done.
Yeah.
So I think it's not a great place to accept the fact that it's not always going to go well.
Yeah.
It's not that you go to the course to stink. Sometimes you go to the course to suck, or to say, wow, I'm terrible at golf. But if you go ahead and pre-accept before you tee off, you might hit a couple bad shots. Then when they happen because you already had it on your radar, it doesn't hurt as bad. If you got to think you're literally going to hit some good incredible shots and shoot around your life, that's crazy. Jim Furyk shot 59 on the PGA Tour. He had a bogey in that round.
Yep,
So,
no doubt,
yeah,
no doubt.
yeah.
I think that's just great for any time you go out there and play golf. Lower your expectations, have realistic expectations, so you're not disappointed and you overachieve those expectations. Really, really excited about it. All right, we'll finish with these last 5 quick questions. The winning score. It's always a tough
10
one.
under.
Tough.
10 under.
It's a world record, right, England?
Yeah, I didn't go back and look at the past years, but it depends on the weather.
Yeah.
If it's beautiful, it could be 7 or 18 under. If it's terrible weather, it could be 3 under.
No doubt.
It'll be under, though. It won't be over.
No, yeah.
I think those days of being overpar in the Open Championship are long
No,
gone.
nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. What do you think, Scott?
I'm gonna say 14.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm optimistic about weather.
I'll go with that 11-12 range. Surprise top 10 finisher.
I'm gonna go with Tom Kim just won. He's probably not a surprise. Bin Woo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's playing pretty well. I think Randy hasn't seen too much over on the
Statistically, he's had a great year, though,
yeah.
for sure. One of the hardest bets to always do first time of the year, but it pays a lot if you get it right.
First round here.
I'm just gonna say something random.
That's usually what it is.
You take like an Aaron Rye who just won
Yeah.
his first major this year, but he comes out, plays great.
Let's talk about one of our newest sponsors. That is CK Secrets and Condom Knowledge. Let's be honest, we all deserve a little more fun in our lives. And if you're looking to shake things up, CK Secrets and Condom Knowledge is your ultimate local playground. Whether you're shopping for jaw... That's going to do it for this episode of the Inside Drive podcast. Thanks for listening, and thank you to our incredible sponsors, Beach House Sales Development, Juice and Sunsets, American Charlie Grill and Tavern, Golf Plus, the Back Nine PCB, Panhandle Credit Union, and CK Secrets and Condom Knowledge. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and leave us a review on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.